The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition or give any medical or legal advice.
Live from Palm Bay, Florida, welcome to the Ronald-Farnham Show on Night Dreams Talk Radio Network. I'm your host, Ronald, and thanks for tuning in to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network on nightdreamstalkradio.com. Hello, folks. Today is Sunday, February 24th, 2019. Or, is it really 2019? Think about it. Is it 2019? Did the world start 2019 years ago? Now, there are a growing number of living souls out there, and I say living souls on purpose. You're starting to obtain the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that it's very, very likely not really the year 2019. In fact, you, as logical living souls, probably already know that the world did not start 2019 years ago. And as far as we know, based on what history tells us, it didn't. And you already know that. You're logical people, right? So if it's not 2019, then what year is it? Now, if you believe science and the community of scientists that claim that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, then why is it 2019? So is it 2019, or is it really 4.5 billion and some odd number of days? I've gone on my Facebook page and I started posting that it's not really 2019. I started putting out there that maybe about a month ago that it's 4.5 billion and like 40 some odd days. I've been doing a one-up serialization number because I want to get closer to the truth. So what is the truth? And how do we even know what the truth really is? This has been bothering me because I talk with my friends and family and coworkers, and we try and figure out what the truth is. And how do we know what the truth really is? How do we even know who we are? Like, for instance, I called you guys living souls, you the audience. In fact, I've been using that term a lot lately. I'm calling you living souls. I said that at the top of the show. Or are you citizens? Now, if you're a living soul, then where are you from? Where is your soul from? Where are we from? Us 7 billion living souls, we're told that the population of the Earth, or this Earth domain, is 7 billion. And why are we here? And most of all, and this is the big question that we're going to discuss a little bit about tonight, is where is here? Where are we really? Are we living on a spinning oblate spheroid? Or are we on something else? Now, I don't want to say what I think we might be on because I've been talking to some people and they're saying, if you start talking about certain things, you might lose some of your audience members who are logical thinking living souls and they might not want to tune in. So I'm just going to ask some questions. Are we living on a spinning spheroid, an oblate spheroid? Are we living in base reality? What is base reality? Are we living in a computer simulation? And if we are living in a simulation, then what's the simulation based on? These questions, and even more, we're going to discuss on this show, the Ronald-Farnham Show. In fact, I was talking today about what the show would be called, and I just decided until I come up with something better, it's going to be my name, my show. And we're going to discuss conspiracies. We're going to discuss the paranormal. And we're even going to discuss paranormal conspiracies. For instance, are there really aliens from other worlds visiting us? Or is that a conspiracy to make you believe in outer space in order to support the globe Earth model theory? And I mean theory when I say theory. We're going to get to the bottom of it. And that's my goal here. We're going to get to the bottom of these questions, and hopefully we can find the truth. I think it's about time we really start revealing the truth, or as close to the truth as possible. I think you, the audience, are ready for it, right? Aren't you, audience? I mean, I'm talking to you, the listeners. This isn't just for me. I got into this for you. I know because I was a member of the audience. I'm still a member of the audience. You're tuned in. You're listening. There's a reason that you're into this subject matter of conspiracies and the paranormal, right? Because aren't those the biggest questions? It's where those questions, they just sit and they're waiting to be answered in the conspiracy and the paranormal world. That's where the biggest questions are. And if you weren't trying to find out the truth or what's close to the truth, you wouldn't be tuned in. You wouldn't be tuned into this network. You wouldn't be on the website. You wouldn't be listening, because we all want the answers. Ever since I was a little kid, I've just been wanting these answers. All right, but now before we get started on the paranormal and the conspiracies, I got to give out thanks. I got to give out thanks to Gary Tombstone Anderson and Night Dreams Talk Radio Network. This is my first show of the Ronald Russell Farnham show, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like super excited because being a host on Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, this is a dream come true for me. This is a passion. This is something that I'm finally getting to realize after just putting the thoughts out there, knowing that the right opportunity, that the right time would come along for me to be able to get out there to a large and growing audience and start answering some of these questions, not just for me, because I'm going to be asking you the questions and guests the questions that I have, the questions that you have. You feel free to email questions to the network. I mean, I realize that if I'm going to help free living souls, all living souls across Earth, from the paranormal conspiracies by which we're all of us, each of us, every one of us are controlled, then I knew that I was going to have to harness the mass media to do it. So thank you, Gary Anderson. Thank you, Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, for making this happen. And please make sure that you continue to, as the audience, help spread the truth by posting this link on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, on YouTube, nightdreamstalkradio.com, www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. We need your support, because I know Gary Anderson didn't get into this for any other reason than this is a passion, and he's a truth seeker. I'm a truth seeker. You listeners, you're truth seekers, and we're doing this for the right reasons. So please share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers that, hey, if you want to start tuning in to a legitimate channel that's going to give you the closest, the most direct access to very likely the truth, then this is where you need to tune in. I also have to thank my family. I can't start this first show without saying thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad. My mom's still alive. My dad passed away several years ago, but I know that his soul is still here and in this domain, and he might be in a new life, reincarnated. I don't know the answers to those truths, but I know my dad's looking over. So thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad. Thanks to my sisters. Sometimes we'll sit down and we have long conversations about this. And my sisters are truth seekers. My family are truth seekers. My friends are truth seekers. They say birds of a feather flock together. And fortunately, in my life, I've been able to attract like-minded people and truth seekers and people who really are actually making a positive impact on the world. I got to thank my friends, my loved ones, and you friends and loved ones. You know who you are, and I know that you're listening, and I really appreciate you tuning in and for being there for the adventures, the conversations, the camaraderie that we share about these things, about these topics that we share with each other. And I appreciate you all for listening and thinking. One of the things I learned from my dad when I was a kid, he used to complain about the Department of Education. He said, schools, they don't teach you how to think. And so I'm taking that phrase and I'm adding that to kind of the theme of what I want to do with this show. I want you to be able to start really thinking. For most of our lives, we've been, I guess you could say, programmed, conditioned, indoctrinated into a way of, I guess, believing, but not really thinking and researching and challenging these topics and subjects of indoctrination to which we've all been subjected. So thank you guys for not judging me, and for thinking, because it's going to take some deduction. So we're going to deduce, and we're going to base our deductions on supporting evidence or lack of evidence. Because I'm not going to make some claims. I'm going to ask some questions. One of the things I've learned while I've been studying the law is that whoever's asking the questions is in control, and you're staying in honor. And so we're going to look for answers. We're going to look for evidence, or sometimes a lack of evidence that gives us the answer that we're looking for. If you can't find the evidence to support your theory, then you have to start looking for an alternative theory. So this is going to probably lead you to some troubling answers, things that are going to go against what you've learned and what you've been taught. And that can be painful. It can be disturbing. I've gone through it. It's almost like a mourning. You're going to go through, some of you might go through cognitive dissonance, where you're faced with information that contradicts your view of reality. So thanks, Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, and the audience of Night Dreams Talk Radio Network. Thank you for supporting this network, for supporting what we're doing here. And really, it's actually Gary Anderson who's making all of this happen. He's the producer. He's the guy that decided, hey, I'm going to make this happen. And in case you didn't know, this network, Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, is one of the very few places that you're going to be able to tune into and hear unfiltered voices that are not under the direct control of corporate sponsors, and that might really be, conspiring against you. Gary told me, he didn't give me any other instructions other than, hey, your show is about the paranormal.